Hello. I've been here once. Once was in a live stream, and the other one was in a outdated video. But I just kind of wanted to share this thing again. What you are currently looking at is just the introduction screen or channel, whatever, for the Discord of a game I made called 100 Years of History: Dawn of the Modern Era. 100 Years of History is a game set in fictional worlds where each player must go through, as the title suggests, 100 years of history. The game will go on for a long time until either one nation remains or becomes the year 2000. Different seasons will have different types of gameplay in different settings, either more fictional worlds like the first one or ones like Fallout, Frostpunk, and other sorts of survival and or political games. Wars will be fought, peace will be declared, alliances will protect each other, spies will break your nations apart, revolution will bring forth a new era, trade will connect the world. Will you be remembered for your glories, or will you be remembered for your atrocities? Will you be forth into the future, or be left on the ashes of the past? Welcome, dear player, to 100 Years of History, the dawn of the modern era. This game is a little thing I decided to create, kind of like a little nation building political type game. Um, I am. I've spent a lot of time putting in a lot of work in this game, and I wanted to share quite a lot of it. So this video may be kind of long, it may be very boring, but this is for anyone who may be interested in coming along and playing, because I'm very much looking for more players. Main reason why: anywhere in white is free, unoccupied land. You can take any of that, as long as it makes sense for location and stuff. But anyway, we have a bunch of nations here on this map. Some of them I have no idea how to pronounce. Other ones are very easy to pronounce. I believe the first ones that I ever added was 1, 2, 3, 4. And there was one here, but he left the game. Well, he didn't leave the server, but he just didn't want to play as a nation anymore. We have Eidheim, Quervia, Nordheim, and Lama Raxa. Actually, I have the order of how every one was added into the thing here. We have. I'm just gonna put it back on here. Lama Raxa, Nordheim, Adheim, Quervia. Anyway, there's all these nations that are all player run, and basically I'm looking for more people to play as other nations here, so this white space is just given to another person who's already part of the game. And I'm also looking for some people to play as officers of the nations, whether you're so basically you participate in combat or you buy military stuff for the nation that you're a part of. Organizations, you can play as an insurgency, a private military company, or an international research team. If that sounds like it's not enough, trust me, I made a poll asking if anybody wanted charities or organized crime, and people said no. Well, majority of them said no anyway. Well, like just one person more. Anyway, this place is called Torna. It is as stated, fictional world I randomly threw together by just taking my mouse and going whoo across the screen until this came out. Originally, this half did not exist. It was just I was about to put my hand on the screen and to like draw a line. Like right there is from here down was not here. This was not here. It was just this. Or actually, I might as well just. This is what it was before. However, at one point, we were full on land from everybody. And then I made something saying that I would, here. Oh yeah, main reason why I added it is because I got kind of into the 55 Days at Peking song, so that's mainly why I kind of decided to do it. But this is just one of the things I added. It's called Skara. It's basically Asia, as it says right there. Count goes. If the player count goes crazy and we get a lot of people but no more space, I'm introducing the most recent continent, Skara, basically Asia of our game. And it's not all just this Discord. I got a little crazy, alright. Countless days, practically a whole year working on this. I have gone through basically everything I could possibly think of. Some of it may not be filled out, some of it is incomplete, but it's here. Anyway, this is where the long and boring part comes through, where I show off the info sheet of everything and anything. I can already tell a bunch of you hearing me say that have already clicked the little YouTube icon and left. Well, if you're on PC at least. Anyway, so you can pause the video at any time and just read through this, but I'm just going to scroll through stuff and show you just a bunch of the things that are here. Oh, my neck. But anyway, I've spent a long time working on this stuff, and I am very, very close to being done with it. Which means that finally, the people who have sat here since 2025, it's currently 2025, since 2024, I mean, they finally have, their game that they have been waiting for. Yeah, anyway, there's just a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to mainly show everything that's important. Roles. Okay, this is important. The roles are just what you can play as in the game. And we have the roles of nation leader, nation officer, nation journalist, insurgency, private military company, or international research team. These three are organizations. There can be as many as there is able to be. Nation leader, there's only one per created nation, and it's it's just like the main role of the game. Nation leaders are in charge of the nation, make all the decisions, and lead the overall majority of gameplay for the nation. March off to war, make policies, lead industry, choose research paths. And we have nation officer. Nation officers have a simple job: to fight battles and manage the military, make combat decisions, and fight alongside nation leaders or fight in their place. Partaking in battles with leader gives 2 turns. Partaking in battles without the leader gives you 3, which is basically just the standard amount of turns that just the nation officer would have. In each combat thing, these are supposed to symbolize stuff, by the way, believe it or not. It's supposed to be grass paths and bridges and water and crap like that. But anyway, as I was saying, the most combat oriented ones are nation officer, insurgency, and private military company. For those of you who just want to kind of just chill, just kind of hang out, but still want to contribute in the game, you can play as a nation journalist. Basically, just make lore, create stuff. Or you can be an international research team. And before I say anything else, this is the nation screen where it shows everything and anything that you have in regards of the game. This is organization. It's very lacking, and I'm not done with it in the slightest. All I have is how many members there are, your support, fame, notoriety, blah blah blah, the name, symbol thing. funds, perks, and where you're stationed. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Organizations are tied to a nation, so instead of you owning your own nation, you are stationed in one. So let's say I'm in. Yeah, we got some nice characters here. Let's say I'm here in this place called Zylandia. Anyway, let's just say I was stationed here in this nation, Zylandia. I'm practically just tied to that, and I can't really do much of anything unless it's something within that nation. Eventually, once your fame and support grows and your member count grows, then eventually you will be able, then eventually other nations will be able to contact your organization and you will be able to do stuff for them. So it's the same thing with PMCs. Mainly they'll fight for companies, or they'll be hired by the government that they're a part of. And insurgencies, sorry, but PMCs can also, once they have like a high support thing, then other country leaders can call out for them and ask them to do stuff. They're, in regards of insurgencies, I know I say insurgency sometimes kind of funny, but in regards of insurgencies, you are kind of locked behind a couple things. So you need to have like a certain amount of members or fun. The hardest one would be insurgency, because whereas a private military company, you are part of a nation, and you are doing, and either you're getting jobs and tasks from them or things inside of that nation. International research teams, they are just able to kind of help everybody. Insurgencies, most part, you're on your own. You have no choice but to just, if you pick an insurgency, you are fighting against the nation that you are stationed in, basically. You can, however, once you achieve your goals, and if your notoriety and member count is high enough, then you can go anywhere else, and you could either move locations or you could just expand your terror campaign somewhere else. First off, before anybody leaves a comment and or has any question, this is not a video game. It may play out kind of like Hearts of Iron 4 or Hoi 4, whatever you want to call it, but it is very much made by one guy, me, and it's very much kind of a struggle for this stuff that I've been doing. These are like this is feature development. Everything has like its own complete, almost done, in progress, incomplete. So stuff here, you can see I update once I do something actually useful for the game, and I regularly, well, as of right now, I've been regularly updating this and doing stuff. Some stuff may take a while, other stuff may be done within a couple minutes. The longest things that will probably take to happen are random events, organization player sheet, rules how to play, and research trees. Symbols, easy. The only thing I really need to do is color them in. What I mean by that is all of these. It is color coded to what nation a player is part of, so I need to be able to distinguish which side is what in combat. Here is the actual game itself, where it shows everything that's actually, here, and Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Damn. Sorry. Anyway, this is the game sheet, shows everything. So if you need, I will, or whenever the game actually starts, I will share this. Sorry, hitting my microphone. I will share this, and I will post it inside of the Discord, where you guys will be able to see everything. So you can either go off of that. Some things in the some things are on the Discord itself. You have access to the Google document. You have what the template of the nation sheet looks like. You have the game modes of combat. You have all the policies. I will put all the research trees here. You'll see stats and purchases, as well as, I don't think I'm going to put perks there because they're not really that important. I will also put industry and agriculture purchases and stuff. Same thing for amenities and city building and the prices of research stuff. Like I said, this is still very heavily work in progress. I'm roughly 86% done if I had to guess anything. If I had to guess a number. This is my first time making not my first time making something like this, but this is my first time making something official like this. For the most part, I have made 2 games before this. One of them was like this, didn't work out because the players I had I wanted something serious, they did not. So, yeah. And the other one was just among some online friends. However, this is for anybody. It is for you watching this video. It is for your next door neighbor. It is for your grandma. It's for the creepy guy who stares at the kids in the playground. Maybe not that guy, actually. I shouldn't have said that. But you get what I'm saying. By the way, this is something that I liked to kind of say. There's rule stuff, blah blah blah, as any normal server would. There is a few things that are major things, like dark lore limits. You can just pause, read this, and whatever. I don't want real life things in the game. What I mean by that is I don't want you can have real symbols, but it depends on what it is. You can have I don't know, some type of eagle, or you can have a star. I do not want hammer and sickle. I do not want a certain kind of bad German symbol. I don't want any of that stuff. Also, something that I feel like I should say is kind of my own philosophy. You may not agree with it, you may not like it, but you need to just tolerate it. What I mean by that is, in regards of other players, in regards of what happens in the game, you may not like it, you may not agree with it, you may not support it. However, we all are just here to play a funny game. I do not care what political views you have, where you're from in the world, what your skin tone is, who you would rather cuddle underneath a bed sheet. I do not really care about that stuff. You can say your opinion about stuff. We all share our opinions on whatever. Just please do not go to an extent that somebody did by telling one of my players from Hong Kong to go kiss his Mao Zedong pillow. Don't be that guy, okay? Don't be that guy. Since this is the first season of the game, I have not come. It's just the base game. This is what there is. Some stuff may not be added. Some stuff may be wanted to be added. But as of right now, it is probably not going to happen because I have a lot of stuff I need to get done, and I would rather save that for a different season while I have the base game already set up. I already have a section for next season. Come in here, vote for whatever you would like to see next. Also letting you know, if you do not wish to be a player, you can also join the collective, which are just regular old viewers. You can just sit there and watch the political discussion of funny fictional nations and whatever. A couple of the seasons I had in mind, some of them have little preset stories. Some of them have unique twists in them, and just anything of the sort. Some of them are set on the current planet Torna, and others are a completely different one. Ants Among Giants, Rise of Industry, Flintlocks and Firing Lines are all on their own planets. The City Must Survive is taken from the Frostpunk universe, which I was watching some videos on, and I kind of got a little bit into it. The Day It Fell Apart is on Torna and can be achieved two ways: by winning the vote, and or if the world ends in nuclear apocalypse. And Lord Over the Land is just some medieval thing. I did think about making that onto Torna, because one of the nations we have, called Nordheim, its lore is some massive empire that stretched across the entire, well, not entire, but a large portion of the world back in before, like, everything currently in the terms of the game. Currently, the time of the game is set on December 31st, 1899, with 1 second to go until it reaches January 1st, 1900. Whenever the game starts, it will become 1900, and from there, you will go through 100 years of history. While playing the game, you have three actions of what you can do here. You can create industry, you can purchase things for an army, amenities, research, stuff like that. But you only have 3 actions per turn, and each turn, 3 actions per turn, and there's 12 turns per year. So basically, we go through 12 turns, 3 actions times that, whatever, I don't know math. Anyway, 3 actions, 12 turns per year, so you have quite a lot of stuff that you can do in just 1 year. I will say, if you are looking to join and want war straight off the bat, since this is my first game and I would like to just ease everybody into it, I would like it if combat was not immediately declared, because there's already been some growing tensions on Torna. It's kind of like an American Civil War thing, North versus South. But instead of slavery, it was something to do with someone's delicacy. Don't ask me why. We have some weird people here, but I like them. Yeah. I would like it if war was not declared at least until 1910. So that's when you can have your World War. That's when you can have your first World War. I really hope there's not a second one like real life. I will allow you to play practically any type of government style as long as it's not anarchist. Nothing against you having any type of views like that. I just don't know how it would run a nation in the game based on no government center. I don't know how I would run that. I have empires, I have kingdoms, I have fascist regimes, I have communists, presidential democracies, federations. I don't think I have an oligarchy yet. I'm not sure. And I even have a pirate republic, which was the one. Yeah, he was the most recent one added. The one I'm surprised I haven't seen yet is a theocracy, but, you know. As well as all of this stuff, if you join before the game starts, I also am going to be releasing a video called Songs of Torna, where I take songs to fit different themes within a certain nation with ambience playing in it. You may have seen the video already where it shows like black and white pictures and it has song, ambience, and audio, stuff like that. And if you join before the game starts, then you can have one of those videos. From here, I wish to show you just a couple stat things. You don't really need to care or look at any of it. I just wanted to show off a couple things. Certain units in combat have certain things that happen or certain abilities that they can use in combat. For example, here, the very first one, Militia, has the abilities Homefront and Improvise. Homefront means that they can only be deployed in village and city maps, and Improvise, they can use firebombs as a weapon, which fire does damage to basically anything in the game, as long as it can reach it. So you can't hit a plane, it's not really much damage you can do tossing a Molotov cocktail at a battleship like 15 miles out at sea. Rifleman infantry, it doesn't have the ability said, but they do have the ability to throw grenades, which kind of is a minor explosive. And minor explosives, I will show you what that means underneath the war section. Damage. Melee damages infantry only. Major melee damages everything in an insta-kill, reserved for the icebreaker ship. That's a ship, that's a naval ship that will just push its main job just to break ice. And then I had an idea. What if a player says, "Hey, can I crash this icebreaker ship right into that other team, right in that other nation's ship?" What do I say? Because that is awesome. So I hosted a poll, and it won. Bullet damage damages infantry and aircraft only. Fire damages all units. Minor explosive damages infantry, planes, drones, helicopters, blah, blah, blah. Vehicles, however, the land vehicles, need 2 minor explosives in order to deal damage. So what that means is if they are hit with 1 minor explosive, that's basically that's basically like 0.5 damage, and getting hit by a second one is just 1 whole damage. Major explosives damage all units and buildings and counts as 2 hits against infantry. So you can basically demolish an entire thing of infantry with 1 tank and its cannon. There's a bunch of different things. Main things that I feel like I should show is Aftermath. The aftermath of a war is whatever the war goal was, plus anything else the winner wants within international treaties, negotiations, etc. If you lose a war, depending on what happens to your nation from the victor, will depend on how you can further play. You can either play as a puppet state if you're willing to, or play as another role so you can at least keep playing the game. That also goes for if the winner of the war decides, "Hey, you can have your nation back. I'm satisfied with kicking your ass once." Mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction, so there's ICBMs and nukes, are well accepted as tools of warfare in the game. Doctrines and treaties can be formed to limit or outlaw them, but it is not required to be listened to. Become death, destroyer of worlds, but do not be surprised when all gloves are off and hell comes toward you. What that means is you have free range to use nuclear weapons if you would like. Do not complain when you nuke one of the biggest alliances in the game, and next thing you know, one nation, 2 nation, 3 nation, 4 nation, 5 nation, 6 nation, 7 nation, all go. Alright, anyway, back here. Sportsmanship. Do not cry if you lose a battle. Just win the next one. Yeah, I know. It's really useful advice. If you continue to lose battles, maybe change up your tactics. If Banzai, Ura, or Blitzkrieg doesn't work for you, find a better solution. I'm not the one who's in charge of giving military tactics to you. Etiquette. When you win or lose a war, do not, under any circumstance, either over-celebrate or freak out and start harassing people. You can say, I win, you lose, GG, but as soon as you go into someone's DMs and say anything other than GG, you put up a good fight, then that's when you're getting booted from the game. I do not like people who play games for whatever reason against somebody who's like some random 45-year-old dad. He has 2 kids and he's sitting on his couch playing Call of Duty, and next thing you know, he's getting just constantly trashed because, guys, I don't have time to play this game nonstop. I got work in the morning. I don't really want anything like that. Anyway, not sure what else I should be showing here, so we'll move on. Alright, policies. There's a bunch of them. That's all you need to know. Geography. This is some useful things if you are new to the game and you would like to join and find out some stuff. A lot of it is not finished, but I will explain what everything is, or like what everything kind of is similar to. Alright. Taliska is the first thing I ever made and resembles North America. Nordia, Scandinavian nations. Pyrenees, South America. Asolia, Slavic states. Aruna, Middle East. Chinor, Southwest Europe, Northern Africa. Levy is Central Europe. Slovinsky is Siberia. And Skara is Asia. In case if you want to know what all of that is. Taliski, Nordia, Pyrenees, Asolia, Levy, Aruna, Chinor, Slovinsky, and then, Skara right there. And then you also have the Arctic, but there's no point to that. Feel free to make any suggestions that you would like to see in the game. I am more than willing to consider and or just outright add it if I think it's cool or may add to the game. There's been a lot of help that I've gotten through it. I've gotten a lot of policy ideas, perk ideas. I've gotten ideas for units for combat, and just all manner of things. Also, if I screw up one of my own rules, do not in the slightest even feel bad about saying, "Hey, dumbass, that's not what you wrote here." If I acknowledge it, then I will just go with whatever the ruling originally said. If I realize, hey, that was a typo, I didn't explain that properly, then I will change that, thank you, and move on from there. I have gotten a lot of stuff from, like, assistance in all of this, and it makes me really happy to see a lot of these players put so much work into into these fictional nations who in like a year or two will be gone and move on to something else. I will keep the server archived. There's no like standard chatting or anything, but you can review it and you can look through the past of everything that was there. The most lore that I've ever seen for any of the nations that I have is for a nation called Nordheim, which I've said quite a few times. Let me just scroll and count in seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 seconds of scrolling. It's not anywhere in the slightest 13 seconds of reading. The guy who made this nation, Rosker, has gone crazy with this stuff. And it's not just him who did a lot of neat stuff for their things. A lot of people put in like a timeline for their stuff. A lot of people made something like this, where they put the full name of the nation, the capital city, major cities, government type, and all sorts of things. And I really like that. I forget who originally did it, but a lot of people just adopted it and decided to do that. I also play a nation. Before you freak out, and if you've ever played any type of tabletop RPG or any game where the person who made it is also playing in the game as a character or as whatever, do not fear. I don't exist, basically. The nation I play is called Federation of Marns. It exists in some obscure corner where nothing is here, and I do not use any of my turns. What I do is I just do the bare minimum. I basically give myself one action. I play as some NPC nation that just has no point to it. It's just kind of there. Originally, there was just a little bit of land there, and I decided I'm just gonna, throw something in there. I kind of like Marns. I like what I did with it. I inspired it a lot off of Partisan Italy because there was a while where my entire life was una mattina mi sono stato. Yeah, my life was nothing but that song for a long, long time. The smallest nation is this one, which doesn't really have much of anything because he's kind of new. So is this one. So the newest nations are Bashia or Bash. I think it's just Bashia. Arcturan, Baeto, and Drexlon, I think is what it is. Those are the newest nations. Like I said, I even have pirate governments. Like I said, the one government I would like it if you didn't play is an anarchist government, because I have no idea how I would run a government that doesn't have a government. Anyway, thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for watching this video and listening to my yap session about my creation. Thank you for all of that. Thank you for basically everything that you've ever done and watching. I will be going now. Thank you very much. And if you would like to play 100 Years of History, look in the description, join the Discord, and that link will be fresh forever. So if you ever want to join, come on by, make a nation, make a nation, join a nation, fight a nation, do anything you would like. I will see all of you in the next one. Oh yeah, also before I go, I am giving one unique role. Well, technically there's two. One of the unique roles is He Who Gives, and that's basically my guy who gives somebody roles while I'm away or can't do it myself. The other role is called Weather Report. You create the weather. So, thank you for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one. Till next time.